In this video, we're going to cover some of the ways to structure our deal. Overall, there's quite a few different ways. I know 23, you may know some others. Here, I'm going to cover 4 for you, which are the basic ones. One of them is a really fantastic one that I use all the time, and that's the one I suggest you should look at. In this video, we're going to look at different ways to structure a deal. In total, I've got 23. I'm not going to cover 23 here. I'm just going to take you through 3 or 4 just to raise your awareness, and these 3 or 4 are the common ones. So the one that you're probably aware of and that you see quite often is the one where everything's paid up front. So either somebody has cash or they go to a bank and get some funding and they pay the vendor or the seller all the money up front, job done. Sometimes with that particular structure, what people may do is hold back 5 or 10%, but usually more often it's all up front, and a lot of the smaller deals are done that way, and that's the one that you've probably seen happen or take place or heard of. The second one, which is my favorite by far, is the deferred payment. So this is where basically you agree to buy and you pay a certain amount up front. Let's just say, for example, you agree to pay 60% up front, and the other 40% you pay over the next 4 years. So you pay 10% of the proceeds every year for 4 years, and that gets you to 100%. That's a much better way of buying a business, because the 60%, as long as the business is viable, you can get funding from a bank or another source. The other 40%, then the business should be able to make the profits, otherwise you wouldn't be buying it, hopefully, usually, and unless there's other reasons in terms of it adds synergy or is part of your diversification or part of your overall strategy. But let's just keep it simple and say it's making a good profit and that's why you're buying it. Then the profits of the business over the next 4 years will help you fund the purchase, and hopefully you'll improve the business and make even more profits and create even more cash flow for yourself. So that's the second one. The third one, again, is pretty common. It is an earn out. This is where the previous or the person selling to you, you keep them in the business for a certain period. So you might ask them to stay with you for the next 2 years, and then you pay them to buy their business, but you also pay them a share of the profits over that time and have certain targets for them to meet. And it also helps you to kind of break into the business, get to know the staff, get to know the customers, and it gives you a bit more confidence in the deal that they are there. So capital is paid up front, some of it's paid over the earn-out period, and then you pay a bit extra to the person selling for helping you to stay in the business and to improve it. Alongside that, something else which you should bear in mind is quite often people who will have a clause for a non-compete. So saying to that person, you can't set up another business within a geographical area for a number of years. Very hard to enforce. Don't go for long periods, because you're going to struggle to enforce them. So something like, if you said you can't do the same business for the next, say, 2 or 3 years within a 10-mile radius, would be kind of justifiable, I guess, to some extent. You'll have to obviously seek legal advice on your particular deal, but something like that's okay. If you try and preclude somebody for the next 5 years with a 50-mile radius, that makes it harder. So non-competes do form part of the structure as well. And then finally, for today, something else which you can look at is, rather than buying them out 100%, buy out a smaller share. So you could become a joint shareholder, a partner. It could become a joint venture to some extent, especially if you're both looking to scale and sell. So you could say, I'll buy 50% of your business, so you own half and I own half, and both go half off. And then with that, you can say, I'll pay you from my 50% that I owe you, I'll pay you some now, i.e. half now, and the other half in 12 or 24 months. And that again is a way of doing it, especially if you're looking to scale up quicker and you're looking to exit. Then adding different businesses and giving the existing owner a share might work really well. I mean, the more people you have, the harder it is to manage communication, expectations, all that kind of stuff. But if you've got a good system, then you can do that. So those are some of the basic the ways to structure a deal. Look at those, especially deferred payment, because that works incredibly well.